Okay guys, so in previous class we have created these much endpoints. Not all. I have asked multiple endpoints to be created by you guys. So I did patient creation. We can see this here. Inside patient controller, I have two endpoints, patient for create and patient ID for getting record. So I have created these two endpoints and rest of the endpoints try to create by your own. Then I have created one here. Inside DAO class, I have created one method, find by name, which is actually example for JPA method convention, where you can create methods by using some JPA conventions. So, like find by name, you guys can follow up and create other custom methods for other entity classes as well. That will give you good practice about all these things. And yeah, complete all the endpoints, still not done, and try to create these much JPA methods. And then once you guys are done with all these, endpoints and methods, go for custom exceptions. So for your understanding, I have created one exception, patient record not found, right? And follow all the best practices which should be used to create, custom exceptions, and then create a global exception handler and try to implement this kind of way. So your at least basics will be covered here. Okay, so today we will go further and try to add one feature which I was talking about, that Lombok feature, which is quite interesting and really simple to implement. What and where it will impact? It will impact at this place. Think about right now we have multiple DTO files. With our current requirement, we need to create three DTO files: patient DTO, passport DTO, and virus DTO. And every single class has their own fields. So passport has two fields, patient has five, six, seven fields, virus has three, four fields. Okay, fine. Think about if any DTO has 10, 15, or 20 fields. So you have to generate all those getter centers. Good thing is either you're using IntelliJ or Eclipse, you can auto generate all these getter setters. But again, this is kind of a redundant work, right? Or we call this boilerplate code. Again, we are using this term. I used this earlier with you in front of you guys when we were learning Hibernate. So that is the term is boilerplate code. So you can say simple, duplicate, or redundant. Redundant. You're trying to do the same thing again and again. Best thing is that we are using IDEs, so they generate all these stuffs, getter setter. Plus, if you are using or creating any Pojo class, ultimately what is this? These are Pojo class. All these are Pojo classes. So when you are working with Pojo classes, you might need to create some constructors as well. It's totally up to us. It's our call whether we want to go for setter getter or constructor call. Setter or constructor, both are used to initialize your fields. That we know already. Okay. So it's totally your call. But again, if we talk about best practices, so people tend to use setter getter, and then they might go forward and create some constructor as well, because it is required sometimes, maybe for default and and some constructor for certain fields, not all fields, but for certain fields. Like I want to create one constructor which takes name and variant. I don't want to use ID. So in this kind of scenario, I have to generate that constructor. Plus, sometimes we also need to generate toString method, toString to print or string representation of an object. If you want to print your object, what you will do, you will override the toString method in your current class, mostly in Pojo classes. So that will give you a string representation of all of your fields. So we are talking about getter setters, constructors, toString, and sometimes equals and hash code as method as well. Okay, that's said. So one homework for you guys. Try to check, not try to, just check it. Okay, there's no try. Check equals and hash code implementation. Okay, so try to do this and see how it works. So these are actually two methods. or if you don't want to use implementation, I'll go for contract. Okay, that's actually Java, from Java, core Java. It is not connected with Spring Boot. Okay, so it's from core Java concept, that if you're using any um, concept, so check out what is equals and hash code contract if you haven't done yet. Okay, that's one question. So what we're talking about, if you want to work with any project class, these are certain things. Let me name them as well. So we are talking about Lombok. Okay, guys. So first of all, you would be needing, why font is small, setters and getters. Then we talked about constructors. Then we talked about um, toString method. Then equals method, hash code method. This is kind of basic stuff which we do time to time in our project classes. So what if we can generate them without writing all this much code? Just a single or simple animation, and all these boilerplate code can be reduced. So how we can do that? By using simply the Lombok library. Yep, that's it. Just use this library and use its annotation, and all these stuffs will be removed. All these boilerplate code. So your DTO will look more simpler and easy. Good thing is you don't have to do anything extra. Okay, so let's see how it works. So let's start with some basic stuff. Okay, so we are going to do this in steps. How to do this? So step one, add Lombok dependency inside form file, right? That's the place where we do this. So that's our step one. And how do we get this Lombok library? From Maven repository, right? So we'll go there. We will open Lombok Maven dependency. Wait, okay. Okay, so we are at Maven repository and looking for Maven repository, Lombok. Maybe you guys say, okay, how would I know which version? So let's make it more easier, because here you have to pick which version, and you have to think about the version for your Spring Boot. Right now, if we talk about Spring Boot version, it's 3.2 something. Let's verify. So it's 3.2.2. That's a Spring Boot version we are using. So we should be 100% sure that which version we should use. And if you have noticed, guys, so far there was no version specified here. And let's move it because somehow I added that. Okay. So if you notice, there is no dependency or dependency version is mentioned. So it's not here. So how do we know what or which Lombok we have to use? So the simplest step is go for start.spring.io. You know that website, that homepage. So we'll pick Maven. Notice carefully Java and make sure you have a specific version 3.2.2. So accordingly you will get that jar. And from here, don't fill anything because we are about to copy dependency only. So just make sure you have selected Maven, Java, and the Spring Boot version which you're using, and then add dependency and type Lombok. Okay. Once we have this, don't download your project. I already told you, you can use this explore option. Click on this, and this will give you a POM file structure. I mean, your whole project structure is there, directory structure is there. And if you scroll to POM Excel file, there you can see there is a dependency. This one. That's it. Just copy and paste. So you will never do any mistake or error or any kind of version issue. When you build your project, it will be perfectly fine. So yep, that's it. I have already copied it and now paste it. And once you're done with this, save your file and build. And if everything was fine, if you build it, you will see that your project is synced, and you will see that green icon that it is synced. Okay, build. Okay, there is a sync. So 9:34. Yep, that's our current time. So project is synced. That means library is properly installed. Okay, that's the first step. So let's edit here. First step is adding this library. Okay, it's done. What's the next step? We need to add. So let me save this file as well. I'll rerun them later. Um, no. Okay, now step two is how to use it. Step two
With annotation, sir.
with the annotation, right? Use annotations. Okay, which annotation we are going to use? Let's see. So as of now, we have implemented. Again, I'm going to implement it in a very simplest step in Passport. Why Passport? Because Passport has its own endpoint. We can test it properly once we are going to save Passport and we have its passport mapper. So let's do one thing. Let's close all tabs, opening the specific one. Passport controller, passport DAO, passport DTO, passport mapper, passport entity, and passport service and its IMPL. So you can see all the passport related classes are open. Okay, fine. So we need to remove all those previous getter setter. Fine. So I'm going to remove getter setter from passport class. See, I'm going to do this, and as soon as I do this, we should get some error. Here in mapper class, you can see the mapper file is ready. It's showing in red color. It's not ready yet, and it's saying, yep, setter and getter are missing. They are not here. So what to do? We are going to use Lombok. So how to provide getter setter through annotation? Just go at top of a class and type at getter at setter, and every single annotation comes from Lombok. And if I save, well, by the way, IntelliJ does not need save. It auto saves your code. And if you go back to your passport mapper, see, error is gone. That means Lombok is giving the library. And you can see in two entity, we have just number, we don't have ID. So let's provide that as well. So I'll say passport dot set. That's from entity. We have added annotation where at DTO file. So if you see, if I type passport DTO dot get ID, it's coming without any issue. It's happening, right? So that means Lombok is working fine. It is providing getters and setters. So let's test it as well. So requested the endpoint. So postman, virus app, passport, save one passport, some random number, and database is here. Let's check database as well. Passport DB. So it has only three records. If everything was fine, we should have fourth record as well. Request send. We're getting ID 4, status 200, and the number is returned. And if we check back database, yep, fourth record is inserted. So you guys can see Lombok is working fine, right? So that's how we can use Lombok. So now what you guys can do, next homework is add Lombok in your Xstring project and remove all getters and setters. Fine. So that's one biggest usage of Lombok library. It saves a lot time, I mean, and lots of space. Your file will be small. Check out. And which is toString. Yep. Once you're toString, that means no need of this toString as well. Okay. Remove and now see, look at your class. If you even count annotation, so 6 lines and that's it. Not even 6 lines,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that saves lots of space in your project. Think about that, just one simplest file. Think about now class can have 50 or 100 fields. Yeah, that's practical. It happens. Your simple class, Pojo class can have 50 fields. You don't have to go for getter setters and create more than 200 lines. Okay, so likewise, you can just print its reference and you will see that toString is also working fine. Okay, so that's one point. We have successfully added Lombok annotation
सर
in our,
सर
yes.
सर क्या लैम्बॉक एंटिटी क्लास पे भी तो यूज कर सकते हैं मतलब डेटा सेटर
Yes, you can use, but try not to use those equals and hash code methods. If you want to use Lombok on your entity class, go for it. You can use it, but use it for getter setter and toString. That's it. If you want to add some extra features like overriding equals and hash code methods, don't use it.
टू आ
Create your own
कंस्ट्रक्टर
custom method. Okay, use your custom
ओके
method. So that will give you more, you can say, control over your equals and hash code method. Because Lombok create all these thing at runtime and it can really mess up with your code. The whole implementation you're looking for, it won't work the way you want if you're using Lombok for equals and code, specifically in entity classes. Because entity classes just not entity classes; they are actually Java class. They become table in your database, and that will be quite terrifying once you run your code. Once you see a record. So better if you want to use, yep, no, you go on remove getter setter from your entity classes. This is entity class, so you can remove getter setter and of course toString. That's it. In future, if someone asks you, okay, we need this class as a key in our hash map, so go for it. Override equals and hash code method. Use it as a key, but don't try to override it through annotation. Give your custom implementation. But that's quite rare, but it's a suggestion. Okay, so Lombok can be used on DTO plus entity. In entity, it's good to have getter setters and this. And one more thing, guys, if you don't want to use all these collection, right? Getter setter and other constructors. Let me show you one interesting thing here. Constructor. You can use it for constructor as well. All argument constructor, no arg constructor, right? This you can also use all arg constructors. And one interesting annotation is data. Okay, if we use this annotation, so by default you are using implementing getter setters and toString methods. I just forgot what exactly it contains, but it provides combination of getter setters and some other annotation as well. So if you just use thing, I guess you don't have to write all these stuffs. Okay, or maybe constructor as well. But which one I'm forgot it. Maybe I'll count in next video. Okay, but for now, rely on getter setters, but use data in your DTO class. So I'll discuss about this later. I'm completely lost what exactly it does to how many annotation it counts, but it is like a combination of multiple annotations. So I'll check it and let you know tomorrow. Combination of multiple annotations. Like getter setters are sure, but I'm missing other annotations. Annotation. Okay, so yeah, but these are commonly used annotations, commonly seen annotation here from your Lombok library. Okay, so yep, as I said, this is the only point guys should know about the Lombok. Okay, next thing is we are already seen one behavior in our class. Class means this entity classes. So we have created patient, passport, and virus. So by using this, we have seen one-to-one mapping, one-to-many mapping. Okay, that's cool. That's good. What about many-to-many, right? We have to implement that as well. So, so let me save this image as well. A2. So we are going to implement many-to-many in next uh, wait image. Okay, so I already have it, the idea in my image. This is what we are going to implement. So hospital and doctor. We are going to create two more entity classes. two more detail classes. So, and then we'll try to, provide all the solution for many to many. That means multiple hospitals can have multiple doctors, and multiple doctors can work in multiple hospitals as per the requirement. Maybe their own hospital, their own private, um, you know, sometimes they do part time or full time in multiple organizations. They can do that as well. So we are going to implement this feature or functionality. So let's add some code. Um, Anything we can pick up. So let's start with doctor, and here we are. Minimize. Okay, timing the thing. But now we are going to use Lombok library, so things will be much easier. Hospital. Okay, and this is going to be entity class. As I said, we always start with entity class and table, then name, private, long ID, which is for primary key. Now we have to check what other fields we have to create. Code name location. Code. So let's make it a string. Name, location. And one more field is for list of doctor. Once we have doctor, then we will add it. Okay, let's make it primary key. So add ID, then edit value, pick the strategy to identity for MySQL, and let's use getters and setters. Okay, yep, class is ready. Let's close other classes, other tabs. Now we need to replicate the same for our DTO class. So that's our second step. After getting this class, we are going in DTO. Already copied. Control C, Control V, and we call this hospital DTO, data transfer object. This is actually guys design pattern. I don't know whether I told you or not, but when we say DTO implementation, we are actually following a design pattern. Okay, that's the result of it. Okay, yep, class looks fine, and we can also use toString. Fine, so class is fine. So we have two classes ready. Let's create DAO file. So DAO, right click, new Java class, select interface, and I'll call this hospital DAO. Okay, and I'll say extends JPA repository, and we have to say hospital, comma, primary type is long, and mark this class not controller repository. Okay, this is also done. Let's create a service file, then class, select again interface, call this hospital service, done. And definitely we are going for save first. So public hospital DTO, and let's say save hospital and takes DTO, done. Okay, now time for implementation. So right click on IMPL Java class and say hospital service IMPL. Fine. Then it says I implement hospital service. Make sure your class is marked with at service annotation. Since our class is implementing this interface, so it's responsibility of to implement this method. Done. Okay, we'll come back to this class later, but let's complete the whole flow. The controller. So right click, new Java class, hospital controller. Every single entity will have its own file. So there it is. Let's mark at rest controller. Okay, now time to create one method. So public, um, we already have a response entity. We already knows it response entity, and let's make it API response. save hospital. It takes request body since it's going to be a post request, and it takes DTU. Done. And let's create the endpoint at post mapping, then double quotes slash hospitals. Okay, endpoint is ready, and let's auto wire the service file. So private hospital service, done, auto wired. Then we will create this class, call this class, sorry, save hospital, and pass the DTO, and we'll come back to this thing and complete this flow. Okay, going back to where we write the logic. But before writing this thing, we have to create a mapper, right? So going for mapper package, right click, new Java class. I'll call this hospital mapper. Then we need to create two methods, two entity or two DTU. You guys are free to use name, any name. So I'm calling it two DTU. Then it takes hospital object. Okay, copy. This is hospital entity. Okay, DTU done. Okay, now let's convert this whole thing in DTU. So we need one object of hospital DTU. There it is. Always create return type object first, since two DTUs return type is hospital DTU. So create its object. Now let's fill that object DTU dot set ID that comes from object get ID. Hospital DTU sort set name DTU dot get name DTU dot set location get location dot set code dot get code. Okay, and once it's done, return that hospital object. Okay, same thing we have to do here in reverse way, saving some time, copied the code. Okay, okay, so these objects are initialized, and then this is to provide object or data. Okay, looks fine to me. Now going back to service file, we can simply auto wire the DAO file. So private hospital DAO, then at auto wired, then hospital DAO dot set, oh not set, save, and then pass that mapper. So let me use it. And one more thing I missed, method should be static, so no need of object creation. Copy it, paste it, then let's call this hospital mapper dot to entity, pass hospital DTU, and done. It returns hospital object TV. Then I'll say return hospital um, hospital mapper to DTU DV. Simple, fair enough. In two line I'm not doing this, right? So okay, so in two line it's happening. Let's complete the controller, and then we'll create doctor class. Okay, so let me save some time. Um, where is the implementation? Here. So copied, close, 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 close. Okay, so we have the thing here. It gives me hospitality object, which we call that response. Okay, done. Then this goes here, and it looks fine. Yep, controller is ready. Okay, now time to create another class. So we can have mm, this mapping, many to many, end-to-end mapping. So we'll create one doctor class, but I won't create any, layer for it. Everything depends on hospital. So it's totally your call. Either you want to take hospital in on your left side or doctor on your left side. So I'll treat left side as my primary class. So I'll perform all the operation from hospital perspective. Same thing you can do from doctor side as well. Okay, so going to create one more DAO. Sorry, not DAO, just entity class. So model class, new Java class. Let's call this doctor. Done. Same handration. So saving some time. Copied, pasted, copied the field. Now let's see what other fields we have to remove or add. So as per our previous discussion, ID, code name is fine. Address, contact number, and email. Okay. Address, email, and contact number. Email and contact. Contact number I'm making string type because maybe someone will pass, country code
Sir,
for us.
table name.
Okay, I'll do that. Contact number, table name. Right. So it's become that happens when you copy paste. Okay, doctor table. Okay, so this class is also ready. Let's create its counter DTO. So copy it, and this will mess up with the mapper class. Okay, because it was earlier just hospital, now it becomes this doctor DTO as well. Remove this, remove this. Okay, a simple class, and let's have toString as well. Copy it, hospital, it's a true string as well. Okay, now because we have doctor class in our request, that's quite inevitable that as per our design, the hospital can have multiple doctors, and that happens in real scenarios. So we'll go back to mapper class of hospital, and here we are treating that hospital will have multiple doctors, and if we have multiple doctors, that means we need to run a for loop. So it works. We'll say for, then hospital dot. Okay, before that, need to map it here as well. My bad, I missed it. Going back to hospital, private list of doctor, because we are in entity class, should be doctor entity, the first one, the class from model package, and we can say doctors. Okay,
सर हम उसमें भी यूज करेंगे फिर तो
right.
डॉक्टर्स में भी
Of course, we will use it, and here we will say list of hospitals
हॉस्पिटल
because uh, it works in same way. So we have to like mention it both side that we are going to use many to many many to many mapping. Hospitals done, and now we need to tell it explicitly like we did one to one. Now we have many to many. Many to many mission goes here, and definitely if I'm treating this hospital as my primary table, so cascading should be there, right? Without it, it won't work. So cascading all, and same side happens here as well. So same operation works here, because if you're treating doctor, if you're going to perform any operation from doctor's perspective, like you're going to insert some doctor record, so that will impact your what do you call that, hospital record. So yeah, I want money here as well. Okay, so this is not complete code, but let's try this way and see how it works. Okay, so we have the main mapping. Likewise, we need to do at DTO side. So going to hospital DTO, there we are, and this time not just hospital, it's hospital DTO. And I'm intentionally keeping it hospital DTOs. So when you're going to use it, this reference, you know that you are using DTO file, not just entity classes, because this will confuse otherwise if you don't or won't use any naming convention properly. Same for this class. Now hospital DTO. Let me check what I have just pasted there. DTOs, and in hospital it's doctor, not hospital. Doctor DTO. Doctor DTOs. Okay, now it's fine. So hospital has doctors and doctor has multiple hospitals. Okay. Now, time for mapper class. So now from one hospital, you can have multiple doctors. So I'll run a loop on multiple doctors. So get doctors. This will give me a doctor object. Done. And if you have multiple records, so what we will do, we will initialize all the fields of doctor. So we need to create a list of doctor as well. So let's create list. It's going to be list of doctor, the entity class, doctors list, then this, and now I will create instance of doctor, the entity class. This is doctor, then we set doc dot set id. Um, just a second, I messed up. It's not just doctor, it's DTO. Everything is DTO right now. Doctor DTO list. So it's also going to be doctor DTO. It's also doctor DTO. Okay, now let's do it. Doctor dot not just doc, it's going to be doctor. Okay, don't if you have confusion, let me ask. Okay, you can say set name doctor dot get name, make it doc DTO. So you guys knows, okay, I'm filling DTO object. Set ID name code, then doctor dot get code, and doctor DTO dot set um, address first, then doctor dot get address, then doctor DTO dot set email, then doctor dot get email. Okay, so these are some basic fields: ID, name, code, address. All these was string or a long type. Now we have a collection of hospitals as well. This one, doctor DTO dot set hospital details, right? You guys can see it has a field which says set all hospital details. This one. Now, what I will do here? Any guess? For now, let's make it.
Sir,
Huh? Tell me.
one
Because doctor has a collection of hospitals as well. Both are connected. Depend.
सर यहाँ पे तो हम
Hmm.
सर डॉक्टर डीटीओ नो सर नो
That's why I stopped typing here. Okay, so it will continue. So for now, leave it. We will see the impact, then we will fix it. Okay. Otherwise, if I write it, you won't see the impact. And once we have a one object, just get it and
डॉक्टर डीटीओ यस सर
you know. And once everything is fine, I'll say hospital DTO set doctors list, and here's the doctors list. And finally, that object gets returned. We have done this because we know one hospital can have multiple doctors. So we're fetching every single doctor's information and storing it in a collection. Then that collection goes in a hospital object. This is what we did here in the selected code. Same thing we do here as well. It's, you can't skip it. You can't run from it. You have to do this. Okay, so this time we have to fetch data from DTU.
सर
Yes.
यहाँ पे हमने जो लिखा है डॉक्टर डिटोर और सेट हॉस्पिटल्स, यहाँ पे तो हमें फिर से हॉस्पिटल का अलग बनाना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक उसके
That's why I'm not. You're this one you're trying saying 28.
यस 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 सर।
Keep it. भूल जाओ उसे. लो क्यों पड़े उस पर. Do you know what's the impact of it? Leave it.
ओके ओके सर
Command कर
भूल
तो
गया।
दिया. Leave it. Doctors DTU and DTU. DTU. Okay. Now this time we'll fetch doctor's information from DTO class, and we need to return entity. Okay. So if you have to return entity, so let's make every new object as entity type. Okay, and this is also entity. Every single new object is of entity type. Okay, object is done. Dr. DTO. Dr. DTO goes inside this time. We are fetching every single data from Dr. DTO only. And this becomes this. So we are initializing entity class field. Doctor list here. And once list is ready, we'll fill it. Um, oh, we need this one. And then doctor's list goes here. Finally, that entity object gets returned from here. Okay, so let's see the impact. It will work or not, or it will give us some error or issue. We'll see that. So I'm just collecting this code. So for now, just ignore it. We will see what's the impact. If something comes up, so we'll fix it. Otherwise, I'll leave it for next class. Okay, so mapper is the crucial thing where we transfer data from DTU to entity class. So we have to focus on here. This takes most of the time. Okay, this is done. Now let's run the code and see. If everything was fine, first of all, we should have two tables, new two objects. Doctor and hospital should be in database, and that should be in our console as well. Okay, expand the console and see. Okay, so four tables should be there. Doctor table, hospital mapping, hospital table, hospital and doctor table. Okay, that's some primary key mapping and server started. And if we check database, four tables, let's refresh it, refresh all. So four more tables. Okay, so let's open one by one to see what they have and close all. They don't have any connection with patient or virus yet, because if I do that, so code will be more complex. So let's make it easy for now. So doctor table empty, mapping of doctor and hospital done, because this is from doctor perspective. We are focusing on hospital. We are treating hospital class as our main class. This is our hospital table, and that's the mapping from hospital doctor. It's not required at all because either doctor table works or either hospital table works. So third, fourth table is not required, but for now, because if I do more coding, so you guys will spend energy on there on that part. So leave it. We'll fix it tomorrow. For now, we are writing just code, not a good code, not even near to that. Okay. So we're just writing code. That's it. Kind of a raw code, you can say. Raw code. Okay. We'll make it cook. Okay. Okay. So application is up. Time to create one endpoint in our postman. So the endpoint here says hospitals for post, and we need to create hospital DTO object, and DTO looks like this. Fine. So going to postman, and let's duplicate and close this one. It's going to be hospitals. There. Let's save it. Save as IRSF. Okay. Save one bit. Okay, NTB. Save, done. Going to body and clear it. Body starts. So I did not require. Let's start with code. Copy code. Then goes here. Then we will have name. Name goes here. Keeping it blank, comma. Then we have locations. It is also done, comma. And now we have doctors DTUs. So you guys can see I'm copy pasting. So you guys are free to copy paste. There I can say free to use copy paste. Okay, and this is actually list of doctors. So if I open it, it has its own fields, right? So I did not require code. So start with body. Let's expand it. So first field is code. Done. Then we have name. Then we have address, email, contact number. Let's fill them. Email. And then it says list of hospitals. So I'm not going to give it, okay? No need to give it for now. So otherwise, if I do this, it becomes, kind of a infinite call. Hospital calling doctor, doctor calling hospital. So that goes like this way forever. So I'm ignoring this field for now, and we'll see what happens. So we're just filling the basic details. Okay, time to fill the doctor hospital information. So let's say hospital. It's going to be code. So hospital. Let's say 001. Okay, that's its code. I don't know what to call it. ABC. Let's call this AIMS. Location New Delhi. Okay, now we are going to fill doctor detail. And none of you told me that this is actually a collection. Collection, right? Collection. Okay. So now we have doctor details. So let's say DOC 001. Then let's say Ram. Address. Let's say Noida. Gmail.com. Code number 0. Then we will have, okay, I did one mistake here. Okay, this is done, and this goes away. Okay, here it comes. Now let's give one more ID for dog.
सर
Dog.
स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट मिसिंग है एक.
Uh, hmm, okay, dog 002. Let's say, contact number. Okay, some random details, and let's see how it works. So I'm going to request it, and let's clear the console. Whether it will work or it will give me some error. Let's see it. So request send, and it gives me error. No, sorry, not giving error, giving a proper detail. So, but something is missing. Code I missed. It's showing null. Error is null. That's fine. Contact number and DTU is also not mapped. But something happened. Okay, I missed some mapper. So we will see that. And if we check database, let's see one by one. So doctor refresh. So we have both in doctor's information except contact. I'll see that what I missed. Then hospital information. Yes, we have code, location, hospital name. Looks fine. That's the mapping. No information. If I check this one, We have one mapping for hospital. As I said, either you will information here or here. It's like a duplication of data because ultimately you are going to map IDs. So this is from hospital side, this is from doctor side. Either way it works. So if you want to give information, then you have to manage those list of collection which we ignored. So for now, just skip it. Let's focus on this contact number which got empty. So the only thing where things are messed up at mapper side, hospital mapper, contact number, okay, that we missed when you were returning it. So yes, it's not here. See, so you need to say Dr. D2 dot set contact number, and it comes from the entity doctor dot get contact number. Okay, now it's fine. Let's reload the server and we will enter one more record. So it becomes two more records. So let's make it hospital 02 XYZ. It's doctor 3 O whatever. Okay. Okay. Going to hit the request sent, and this time everything is fine. Oh, I missed the code as well. Contact number still not coming. Why? What happened? It's not saved. 2 entity. I missed there as well. Sorry, my bad.
जैसे
But
आप
you guys knows, okay, what I missed. Because when you're speaking and teaching and writing code, it won't work this way, na? When you're writing code, just focus on the code, which I'm missing here. So get contact number. Okay, so I'm not going to run this code. You guys know what I missed. So that's how you can fix this. And code is missing. Huh? Code is there when we're returning it to and to DTU. Set code here. Hospital code is also here. Okay, see, I'm fetching from Doctor DTU. That happens when you copy paste. It's doctor, not DTU. Okay, now that's fine. So we will get code as well. Doctor DTU. Okay, how you can check it? Just highlight your variable. So all the use variable will be highlighted. And when you use this way you have used. Okay. Now if you run this one more time, it will be fine. Okay, so that's the many-to-many mapping. One thing I skipped, this one. So try this as homework. Okay, guys, try this out and see can you fix it by yourself or not. So three homework for you guys for today's class. Any question or query, just tell me. Otherwise, let's meet tomorrow. No, no question. All good. Okay, fine to me.
yes sir no
Okay then. Uh, well, then tomorrow. Bye bye. Good.
okay sir